Yo, Michael. I'm trying to speak a little louder now. I'm just watching your videos through, and I thought I am gonna expand on the alphabet and on the numbers. Let's pause it. So, I'm just gonna film the ideas I had with the letters for now. So you might get a hold of it, maybe expand on it if you want to. What I've been thinking about is letters that look similar, M, N, W, maybe even E. They will just be another turning other ways, and we also know we can flip them mirrored. So even the numbers will exclude some of the letters if we go by the principle I mentioned last time with the angles. 1 angle, 2 2, 3 3, and so forth. And for example, the 2 will cancel out a C like this. It would be the same. Another possibility, of course, would be that they are inclusive, so they are meaning the same thing. But for now I'm gonna go with this and say we're gonna make a C, or other things, other shapes are gonna be made other ways. The same thing with the I and the H, they would cancel out one another if we just turn them round. Alright, let's go on to the numbers. Change my position, shadows. So I've had some other ideas about the numbers. I've been thinking progressive, so forward thinking would leave us with numbers like these. Geometrical thinking, they would cancel out one another as well. For example, the 3 would cancel out the 6. They would be the same. The 4 would cancel out the 8. They would be the same. So probably they're gonna appear in another shape, if they even appear in the system. It's just gonna try out. What I had been thinking about too is the old Roman numeric system you see in this row. So on the clock towers we got here in Austria and some other places in Europe I've been to, the 4 will always be written progressive. So the 4 will be 4 lines instead of an I before an V, and it would fit into your description of everything being that we can look at everything from every way, every direction. There's no forward, no backward, and even the mirrored part is off. The IV, if I would turn it around, would just turn out in VI, like the 6 would be. So this one here, I'm not gonna count it, because it would be the same as this one here. And even if we use our fingers, it's gonna be progressive. This row you got here, it's like we got it on the dice. I think I'm just gonna put them in this line of work for now, because they appear in the world, they are common in the world, and even they could be written different if we are gonna try to make them triangles. So we got 3 could also be written like this, of course, instead of the row we actually know. And the last line over there, it's also a progressive line, so it would just add on to the shapes, so they would all cancel out one another, because they are inclusive within one another. Quite the same thing going on with this kind of progression, where it's just going to be trying, going deeper within another, but it would describe the imaging, so I took it in for now. Some questions that remain open to me. For one, it's is there going to be a difference between the angles. So for example, if I take the one of the J's I chose, it would actually be the same as one of the C's I chose. So I for now would say no, there's not gonna be a difference, so the angle would just be a morphing as you've described in multiple of your videos for now, especially the last ones. For anybody else coming here watching this, I'm gonna film your video line so they know where to go, which videos I'm talking about. I'm talking about these last ones. I haven't watched all of them, but I think it's somewhere in here where you're talking about those. So for everybody, they can see the titles. Even though if they're gonna be renamed, they can look after Ricker Tripping Sponge Series Part 167. And of course I'm gonna add them to the playlist as well. I have added them, but I will order them once you renamed them. Well, what else we got? I've been thinking about the numerical values of the alphabet, and though I don't really give a shit about it, but it's being talked about a lot, so I tried to figure out how the numbers could turn out if we would go with this, the A, B, C, D and forth, with just as many angles as their numeric value would allow, just like I did with the numbers down here. I don't think, for now I don't think this is the way to do it, but I'm still gonna take it in. We'll never know. For now we don't know. So yeah, of course you see the 6, for example, with the F, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 twists or angles, and I tried to progress on in the order of the alphabet according to the numeric value. I'm just gonna go through. The one like the N here in the bracket, it would just be the same as the W would be, so I braced it out. Many of those will turn out similar to the letters as we've seen them written somewhere in the system, but others will not. I can't find a way for the O, for example. Couldn't find a way for the K. Another thing I've been thinking about, sometimes, you know, we write the K like maybe this. It could also be a reminder, and I'm asking myself if these echoes that are left to us in this system, if a turn like this could also just mean a connection and it's not counted, so in reality it's not even shown, it would leave out, and it could be with many of those. I'm still gonna try to figure this one out, but only for a time, because I don't really think it's that important for now. Yeah, but I'm gonna go them through so everybody got it on cam who's interested. I'll go those through as well again. Yeah. Other alphabets, like the Greek alphabet, they've got lots of the angles, and the only alphabet I had been reminded of, but there may be more, is the owsiak, the runic alphabet. It looks very triny to me, lots of trines, actually all of those, maybe except of this one here. They are shaped in the way that triangles are. So that was obvious to me, so I just put this out to you. Maybe you can do something with it. Another point I want to get into is the 3, because we're talking about trines a lot. And what's the 3? It's compiled of 1, 2, or maybe let's even do it the way I've done it for now. The 1, the 2, the 3, 12, 21, and so forth. And I'm just going to put out some connections that I have discovered so far. Yeah, let's start with what we're calling the chromatic scales, with colors and with numbers. If we're just going to take these three as a base, we're going to get to the musical scale in hertz, and we're going to get to the color scale in nanometers. So of all of those, we're gonna take 1 as a base. We're gonna move 2 up or down, so times 2 up or per 2 down, and we're gonna move 3 sideways. And funnily enough, in the chromatic scale, as we are reminded of in the system at least, we have 12, which is another way of combining all those previous numbers. It's the 1, the 2, and together it's a 3. So I'm gonna do it times 3 for 12 times. So I'm gonna get 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 729, 2187, 6561, we corrected one, alright, 6,300, 240. Yeah, I guess I'm right. I'm gonna control them afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm gonna put this on a bigger paper. Wait a moment. Yeah, alright. I got them here. I controlled them already. So it's the middle row I'm talking about. Would go 1, 3, 9, 27, 81, and so forth. 12 times. So I'm going 3 times 3, 12 times to get the chromatic scale. And I'm gonna show you that this is the same as we got in our music with the hertz frequency, and we got in color and chromatic colors with the nanometer frequency. For that I'm gonna bring them into a range that our human ear can hear and our human eye can see, at least so we say in science. I already know that right in the middle, 6 this side, 6 this side. These ones we're gonna go down, these ones we're gonna go up. So with this, for example, I'm gonna go times 2, 2, 4, 8, and so forth. 6, 12, 24, and so forth. 36, and so forth. Yeah, you get what I mean. You're a smart guy, you're gonna get it. And with those on that side, we're gonna go down. I'm going 364 times .5. I'm going 1090. All right. That's 5. Yeah, I guess I'm right. But I'm gonna control them, and I'm not gonna calculate them all now on the video because I don't want to take up too much time. So I'm gonna be back. Yeah, now so I went up for the first 6. I went times 2. For the next 6 I went through 2, and that gave me the frequency within the visible light. So this is the one where we're gonna start. This is where ultraviolet ends, and the double of it, which would be 768 nanometers, is where the infrared is starting. And yeah, so you get the numbers. Funny thing to notice is we have one number where we have to go times 2 from our basis of 1 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. It's the 729 there. We have to go 0 times through 2. Then over there we got 1 time, we got to double it. 2 time we got to get through, divide it, I should say. 3 times we got to do it for this one. Then we got 4 times down here for this one, and 4 times up here for this one. The infamous 432 Hertz A in the musical scale. Then we got 5 times down here, 6 times up here, 7 times down here, 7 times up here, 8 times down here, 9 times up here. Give it a whole picture again. So the only numbers that are up and down divided, 4 times divided through 2 and 7 times divided through 2, as well as 4 times 2 and 7 times 2. So 4 and 7, it's 11, and I'm just gonna go where it leads me to. It brings me to funny. So lights and shadows. I have lights. And shadows. And we have lights. Shadows. I'm gonna talk now just to speed it up a little. I think you know what I'm getting at. Right.
Yeah, it's not the right one. I need a dark green for this one. I think it does.
So we got the very natural numbers we see on the ground, colors. We see on the ground, we see it not only on the ground, but as well in trees. And we got the sky, the sea, the human body, on the other side, the skin, the flesh. Camera's gonna shut up soon. Yeah, this would be another way of putting it, in my understanding. So now I'm gonna take those numbers and show them to you on the visible light spectre. So I just took something from the internet. I think we could take anything, but I just decided for this one. we're gonna get right to the frequencies that I was gonna cut. As I mentioned, the lowest number we got here is 384, and that is where we are starting ultraviolet. If we double it to 768, it's gonna go to infrared. So it's the next octave, as we call it in our terms. So the next high number, the next number in order, I think would be 410. Yeah. Let me note it. So here we go, 1. There we go, 2. And if we look at 410, might be around here somewhere. It's where this violet is turning into blue. Next number, we're gonna go with 432, the third one in a row. Look at 432. It is where it's finally become blue, so it's no more violet within it. It's what we might call indigo. The fourth number, it would be 461. Yeah. Oh yeah, they are always two apart. So I'm also going to talk about patterns in this, so we understand how the system is structured and how it builds up everything. 461, if we look, we're going to go somewhere there in the middle, a little further, and this marine blue. Yeah, I'd call it, I'd say just blue. Next in a row, we got 486, number 5, and we're turning into light blue. We're coming here. Yeah, 2 again, so 512 will be our next color. Oh yeah, I would even say with the 486 I just mentioned, it would even be closer, so it's leaving the blue here. What did we have before? 461. Yeah, so that's gonna be the switch between dark and light blue, the 461, the fourth one, and the fifth one is gonna be the switch from light blue to green. So now we're going 512 is the sixth one. We're switching from dark green to light green. 546, seventh one, 46, so we're somewhere here, possibly. Yeah, if we can say this is 50, yeah, somewhere here. Alright, oh yeah, 46, alright. So we're gonna switch from this light green to yellow green. The next one, seventh one, yeah, 576, so we're past the half now, and we're going from green and yellow-green over to yellow. Next one, 512, 6, 8, yeah, we're here. 615. Isn't that a little far? Oh no, we have been at 576, alright. So we've been here, and now we're going to 650. We're leaving, we're even jumping over the orange. Maybe I will find a mistake, but I don't know. We're going into the orange. So in this case, in this scenario that I'm building up here, trying to decipher the system and how it's built up, we would even jump over, and yellow would have orange within it already. So we're jumping ahead over here, 615, where it's gonna be a very light orange. Next number on the screen is 648. Red, yellow, orange, red. Yeah. I jumped one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 1, I got 2, I got 3, I got 4, I got 5. Oh, I made the 7 twice. Alright, now I know where I've been. So this would be 8, the 8 would be 9. 9 would be 10. And now we are at 11. I already thought, yeah, I had a mistake in counting them. 691. So we're gonna go over from red to darker red. And then there's gonna be the last one, 729. And it's this part here where we got wine red, the darkest red, and then with 768, you know, the double octave of our first one, we're gonna get into the infrared. This is just part of the visible light. You know, we've been talking about how we lost contrast, and maybe this whole bunch that science is talking about maybe within the reach when we understand the electromagnetic system a little better. So yeah, this would be the musical notes that would align with it. I am not talking about Pythagorean scale, I'm not talking about something with Fibonacci radius, I'm not even talking about the actual 432 Hertz scale, because it's gonna turn out elsewhat. I'd call this something like a 1, 2, 3 scale, because we create it just by using the numbers 1, 2 and 3. We took 1 as the basis, we went one direction times 3 times 3 times 3, and then when we had the numbers 12 times, which is 3 as well, yeah, you get that, I aligned them with multiplying by 2 or dividing by 2. So it's not gonna be any of those scales you're gonna find on the internet. Most possibly it's gonna be out there somewhere, but it's not this stuff universal 432 or whatever. I still think it's interesting, it's close to most of the scales. It's just turning up a 1, 2, 3 and taking 12 within. Yeah, and I'm gonna show you another thing about the 12 and about the 3 and whatever. Let's see first, we got an empty sheet here. Alright, so if we're gonna go into the 12ness like all those zodiac guys do, and we put it into a cycle, starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's a whole bunch of stuff within there. So first of all, I'm gonna divide this whole thing by 2. So I'm gonna take the upper part and the lower part. If I'm gonna combine the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That 1 is 3, is 6, is 10, is 15, is 21. So there we go again. 2 and 1. Not that it's something special, it's just how the system is built up. So if we take the lower part, I'll go 7 and 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12. Going 7 and 8 is 15 and 9, 24, 34, 45, 57. So, alright. If I'm gonna combine those two together, they are 78. Something funny as well, if I'm gonna go backwards, regressing from 21. I'm calculating the last numbers. 21 plus 20, it's 41, plus 19, it's 60, plus 18, we got 78 again. I can't do exactly that with the 57, but I also get something funny. If I go 57 and 56, it's 113, plus 55, it's 168, and if I go plus 54, it's 100, it's 222, yeah, right, 50 and 50 and 50 and 50 is 200, 207, 213, 218, 222. With 56 and 55 we even got a split point, an important one. It's every other two numbers we add around it will add on 111, because 56 plus 55, it's 111, and of course all the other numbers around it, when I'm gonna add one or when I'm gonna subtract one, I'm gonna end up with another 111. Alright, other funny things. What are funny things within this stuff? I'm gonna go with 1 and 2 for now, and I'm gonna go with 3 and 12 for now. So if I take the opposing numbers, I take 1 and 7, I get 8. And if I'm gonna take 2 and 8, I'm gonna get 10. 1, 7, 2, 8. If I'm gonna go 12, 6, I'm gonna get 18, which is exactly that. So we got 1 and 2 again within one bound. And I go 12, 6 or 6, 12, doesn't matter right now to me. Yeah. 3 and 9, I'm gonna get 12. I'm gonna mention it as well. So the 3 is gonna turn out as a 12 again. I think I'm just gonna check me some coffee. I'm gonna take 1 and 12, the 13, it's also a funny thing, because you know, if we're gonna go from the first to the last and so forth, we're always gonna end up with 13. If I'm gonna take this two opposing, I'm gonna have 18 and 8, and depending on the mathematical language I'm gonna use, I'm gonna end up with either 26 or with 10. This is the 10 ciphers, this is the 26 letters. We got them elsewhere as well, so I might as well say 1 plus 2 and 3 and 4. They together combine to 10 as well. I'm gonna count 5, 6, 7 and 8. They're gonna combine to 26 as well. So I got that within. Another pattern I'd like to show you. If I'll go 1, I take 1 as 1, I take 2 as 2. I'll go 3, now that I'm gonna start in the electrical realm, I'm gonna combine the 1 and the 2 now. So there's another way of saying 3 in my perception, and this is 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So 3, 4 and 5 are gonna wind up as 12, while 6, 7 and 8 gonna be 21. So we got that pattern as well. You know, it's the same as saying this. Then I'm gonna take the 9 as 9, just as I would have taken the 0 as 0. then I'm gonna count again. 10 and 11 is 21, and 12 is 12. So that's the same thing here. I don't know why I'm saying this, because I might even do it like this: 2, 1, 1, 2. Yeah, I don't think the other stuff within that is interesting for now. Just let me know if this helps you at all. I don't think so, but I just wanted to get it out because maybe it will lead us somewhere later at a later point in time. Oh yeah, I know something I want to mention as well. Wait a second. So now that we had all this stuff, with the 21, 78, 56 and so forth, and the 11 colors, I want to mention the tarot. I know you're gonna think I'm crazy now, but still I think it's an interesting language through which we might find out how to decode this stuff. If I'm gonna look at the tarots that are in use with all those spiritual guys, you might know the Aleister Crowley tarot. It's very colorful, it's actually quite beautiful. I've never looked at it, I've seen it for the first time right now, but maybe I've seen it sometime before, but yeah, it looks good. Then the Rider-Waite tarot, whatever, the same thing, but they are both making a great mistake, and I don't even think it's a mistake. It's an intentional misconception, so that nobody will get what the tarot is actually talking about. When we're going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this one is 0 in this tarot. This is also wrong. 0, remember that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's the second mistake, because 13 has a name. Oh, yeah, I gotta go over there, yeah. He's 13, 13 has got a name, it's called Death in the Tarot Rider-Waite, and in the Aleister Crowley Tarot as well. This guy here, it's 13, and I don't know what it says, La Muerte, it's death as well in Spanish, but in the ancient tarot, in the real tarot, I don't want to call it that way because it's just an older version of it. We also got those two characters. Oh, let me check in the Aleister Crowley tarot as well. Oh yeah, we also got the Fool, the Coco. I don't know if it means the Fool as well, but he's a 0 as well. Remember that, we don't have a 0 in this tarot. He's just numberless, he hasn't got a number. He's got the name Lemat. And number 13 in the original tarot, it has got no name. So we got numberless and the nameless. And this is where the misconception comes in with all the New Age tarot guys. They won't get this, because this is very important when we're talking about the 12ness. There are 12 cards in between this numberless figure and this other nameless figure, and he's not 0. There is no 0. He could be anything by number. He hasn't got a number, and there is no name. He's not the Death, he's not La Morte with 13. So this 12ness within the tarot would look something like this. It's progressing. So yo Michael, I will get into a lot of the other stuff later. I just wanted to give you an insight, and I'm not too keen on making this all right now. I wanna gather some stuff, and further I gotta trace out some imaging a little more. So I will come back at you later.